Yesterday, the new DLC dropped for everybody's favorite gaming disaster. I just wanted to show you some of the pictures that are starting to emerge because people are actually playing this now. Here's one of them, good old Victoria Freeze, who's on a mission to save her wife. This isn't even the only thing. There's more. There's even a trailer, and the trailer is really bad. I'll probably play it tomorrow on stream. Here's some of the DLC suits you can get. This is like Mr. Zero outfit, if you don't know what that is. I think that's what this is. That's like the name of Mr. Freeze in the 60s. Mr. Zero. This is supposed to be his outfit, I think. And then there's another one right here. And we have this one. It's got a bunch of green slime on it. And then there's this one. This is, of course, the pride of all the outfits, I'm sure. The real question I had is how many players were going to flock back to this game now that it's got new DLC out? Well, let's look. Oh, had a peak of 572, you say. So here's the spike, and you could tell the spike came from the DLC because there's nothing quite like it over the past week. Hell, let's look at 3 months. I'm going to guess that Joker came out around here on May 26th. There's also this one. Maybe Joker came out June 30th. I don't remember when Gay Joker dropped because he's obviously gay. That's for sure. He is. At least they heavily allude to it for sure. You can tell with that character and the way he acts. But maybe that was when this happened, or that might have been the Steam sale. But players jumped up to 665 peak on Sunday, the 30th of June. And then here's the next one, and this is for the non-binary Mr. Mrs. Freeze character. No one came back. So these DLCs are bringing nobody to the table. It's kind of funny to see this game go down like it is because it really is the poster child of woke in gaming. And now we're going to shift gears to the next disaster, Concord, a game that Sony is for sure going to lose millions of dollars on. Without a doubt, this game is going to be a financial disaster for them. This is the next big woke in gaming. The freaking robot has pronouns. Robot. A robot isn't a he or a she, but he's a he, him in this game. And the numbers for this game were a disaster as well. It had a peak of 2,388 players. This was for the open beta. Oh, no, this was for the report comes in the wake of Steam DB data showing that the peak concurrent players for the game on Steam only hit 2,388 on July 18th when the open beta went live. By the end of the open beta, the game was only hitting a peak of concurrent 1,117 players. Pretty pathetic. But there's some weird shit that was going on over there, and Smash JT, a good guy, I like his channel, check it out, got an insider source where somebody that worked on the game came out and blasted this designer on the game who wanted to be called the Professor. And if you didn't call her the Professor, you would get fired. Also tried to get people fired for not getting the jab. All kinds of crazy stuff. So I thought we would switch over to his video and watch some of it because it's pretty damn wild. This person is nuts, and this person is one of many people that worked on the game, and it kind of shows you the type of environment that was happening over at Firewalk Studios, the developers of Concord. Listen to some of this. It's wild shit. I will link his channel in the description if you want to go watch the whole video itself. I'm just going to watch a few minutes of it here. This is just crazy stuff. Listen to this.
Where that mind virus goes to mutate. Lisa Brown, who goes by Wordle on Twitter, and it's now protected after I called her out with these allegations, she's a developer at Firewalk and recently declared themselves as non-binary and required all coworkers to refer to her as the professor within the workplace. And the source was telling me that if people would not want to refer to her as that or didn't feel comfortable with it, then their job would be in jeopardy. Meaning that this person...
By the way, so from what I understand from this, and if I'm wrong, Smash JT, please hit me up and let me know if you watch this. This person was not a professor. Now, a professor is somebody that works at a university. And this person does not work at a university, and there are no credentials for this person to be called the professor. But for some reason, wanted to be called the professor. And if you didn't want to call her the professor, you would get fired. Well, at least pushed to be fired. I mean, this is why when people put a lot of the identity stuff on their job applications, and you hear reports of people that put that stuff on their job applications not like getting the job at a pretty high rate. This is why. Because they kind of become lawsuit disasters. Right? These people will try to drag you into court and go onto social media and cause all kinds of problems for your company. And, you know, thankfully they identify themselves on the resume as soon as you get it.
Had their pronouns pushed to the point of calling them something that they have not earned before. They didn't have any degrees or accomplishments to be called professor. They just decided one day when they woke up saying, I'm a professor now, and people should start calling me that. Here's where it gets crazy.
That's the point I was making. Yeah, you need to have certain kinds of academic accomplishments to be called a professor. One being teaching a university class, which this person obviously has not done. So calling yourself the professor, kind of a joke. But this is how highly this person thinks of themselves. And they all think this way. They all think that there's something special.
According to the source, had led to a company-wide enforcement on adjustments in addressing and interactions, meaning that people were required to address people how they demanded to be spoken to. And meetings from this Lisa Brown developer, when they had these scrums together at the office, would be titled really weird things like Meeting with the Professor or Teaching Learning with the Professor, which, as the source had reported to me,
I like how she's got a picture of her. Make sure you see me with my child, the kitty. My only child that I'll ever have.
were not well received by the staff there. Universally, like many of the people at Firewalk Studios, felt uncomfortable around this person, but also felt like they'd be retaliated against if they tried to speak up and say anything, because the overwhelming architecture of the company, especially when it comes to HR, was very left-leaning, meaning that it was very sympathetic to pronoun bias and how people are addressed and exactly how you need to report to people, and if you don't give them that respect, then you're the person in the wrong. And those of you who've been watching the
and let's be clear, like this is not something that's unique to Firewalk Studios. This is something that plagues probably the majority of Western video game studios. They're all going down this path. They've all been infiltrated. They all have left-leaning views, and no other views are allowed there. None. You can have no other views. It's very clear when you play these games and you see how they act. You look at What's Her Face from IGN. I just did a video on her a few weeks ago where she was calling having children a situational disability. These are the kinds of viewpoints that are being embedded into all of these studios.
Channel for a while might remember I made a video talking about how this dude named Nick, who's a developer on Halo, talked about how he didn't feel comfortable designing guns for Halo, but could justify it because they're space fantasy guns, they're not real life, so he could work on the guns and make the guns for the game because they weren't real life. And that was crazy enough in its own right, but apparently it's becoming a very strange trend because this Lisa Brown developer also did not share much of an affinity for weapons, yet worked on developing a squad-based hero shooter. It just strikes me as odd that these developers keep finding themselves in roles for games that they don't like doing. Like, Why are you there? It's almost like the world is.
Yeah, and that's a really good point. Really good point. This is where we're going to jump off. I just wanted to cover some of this. It's a great video by Smash JT. Go check it out for sure. Why are these people getting jobs in the video game industry when they don't like this stuff? Why are you working on a squad-based shooter if you don't like this stuff? It's even a great point, like he pointed out, she worked at Bungie. Why are you there? You have no passion for this. This is another problem in the video game industry. Can we get people that have passions for the product? That have a passion for gaming, have a passion for gameplay? Like, can we get that instead of some weirdo that wants to be called the professor? And this person's not done. She'll probably fail upward to another job. So, wild stuff, man. And this game is cooked. It's going to be funny. We'll get to see when Concord actually releases. I predict it's going to launch to 1,000 people for a month, and then it's going to drop off a cliff, just like Suicide Squad did. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments below. Also, if you would, please like, subscribe, share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed. Hit that notification bell, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.